to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh, welcome in. What was that sound?
That's me doing rookie drafts, guys.
You're not having a good time?
Oh, barf.
So, I mean, this is a big show because we have not got to really come together and react here on the 2026 NFL Draft. So this is our first chance to get the opinions
They're bad.
shared. What about
There's
the
some
Cardinals, though, Jay?
Hey, there's some
Oh,
good.
they're bad.
Okay.
They're much worse.
There were things.
They're much worse with the Cardinals.
No, the Cardinals are. I mean, it's like a child is running the organization on some
it is.
level, and it's such an insult to Jeremiyah Love and the talent that he is to say that, because quick thoughts on the Cardinals, we can all share them. Fact number one: Jeremiyah Love is an incredible football player,
Absolutely.
and will not bust.
Correct.
He will be a valuable, important, fantasy-relevant player for the Arizona Cardinals for many years and $50 million.
Yeah, and for whoever his next team is as well, he could go on to great success. Like maybe he'll win a Super Bowl with his next team. Jeremiyah Love is great. And so the argument of, look, you take the best player. And I will say this. If you draft an edge rusher who busts, it is less valuable than drafting Jeremiyah Love, who is good.
Yes, who you have a more guaranteed outcome with.
But it is indefensible to use the number 3 overall pick on a running back, no matter how good they are. It is, and people are like, it's all about the contract. That's kind of the argument, but that's not really what it is.
Yeah.
The $50 million guaranteed, which is the most guaranteed money that's ever been given to a running back in the history of the NFL, just simply because you're slotted in at the number 3 pick overall.
$11 million more than any other running back in the game today playing.
And people say, well, look, if it's a good player and you're going to be on a rookie quarterback contract, you can afford him. You've got the cap space. That isn't the point. The point is what you're giving up.
Yes.
Look,
opportunity cost.
Will Anderson is getting $50 million a year now. He just signed a year. We just said $50 million in guaranteed money was the most of all time for a running back. It's because they don't matter as much. They just don't. You can't get an edge rusher. You can't get one on the free agent market. They don't hit the free agent market.
Once upon a time, the Cardinals passed on Adrian Peterson in the first round for an offensive tackle that didn't pan out, and we lived and watched what Adrian Peterson did for the rest of his career. So on that level, you don't want to whiff on an Isaiah Simmons or Andre Wadsworth or whoever else the Cardinals took. Everything you said is correct. Love will be very good. It's compounded by the fact they spent offseason money re-signing James Conner, Tyler Algier. They have Trey Benson. They have running backs on this roster already. And so everybody, I have been asked about my opinion on this pick more times than I can count, and everybody wants to hear our opinion on it. Jeremiyah Love doesn't deserve any hate.
No.
He's going to go and be great in Arizona, and he'll be the number 1 pick in dynasty rookie drafts. And we'll talk about him on our winners and losers today. I think we're doing AFC. But,
the good news is, the genuine good news is I think that drafting Jeremiyah Love and then a couple rounds later with Carson Beck is a very good recipe for marching for Arch. Like, get the
is
number
that
1.
What you're calling it?
Yeah, the march for Arch is on for Archie Manning. Let's put Manning with a Harrison. It's got to work again. Yeah. It worked for their daddies or their their relatives, I guess you should say. But I think it's a great way to get the number 1 pick.
So the original vomit sound effect that Mike produced at the top of the show was more about just expectations for where a lot of running backs were going to go. Didn't come to fruition. We didn't really get a lot of names with the draft capital that correlates to fantasy success.
Got none. We got none.
But we got Jadarian Price.
Sure, but I'm saying day 2.
Yeah, we
Like-
got none.
Day 2, there was one running back
Was that
on day
Kalen
2.
Black?
Yeah, it was, and he wasn't invited to the combine.
But drafted by a team that is whiffing on almost all their picks.
If the 49ers draft you, I mean, I could just say if they draft you, your chance of not being a good player is very high. But specifically, dude, Lynch sucks.
Day 2,
he
really
really
sucks.
No, he does suck. And there have been
He
some
sucks.
great
San
articles.
Francisco fan.
Yeah, we got one over there.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay, thank you.
Could you imagine how good your team could be
Yes.
with Shanahan coaching if they were given quality players?
But like, how many years in a row are we now of the 49ers taking a running back in essentially the 3rd round, and then it never being the guy?
I feel like we'll get hate like we're attacking the 49ers as Cardinals fans. We're
No, I'm
not.
attacking
We're attacking
one
them
specific-
as football fans.
Yes, one specific GM.
And
your team is always great.
would you rather be Kalen Black, who was not invited to the combine, drafted by a team where these home run picks never work out, or would you rather be, I think it's Adam Randall, who was not drafted by the general manager, not drafted by the coach, but given a token opportunity to the owner of the Ravens that said, he's been begging me for a pick, so I just let him pick somebody.
It was unbelievable. The GM, if you haven't
Here you
heard
go,
this
little buddy.
story,
Let's
yeah,
make a
the
pick.
owner asked for a pick, and the GM's like, well, it's your
What are you
team.
supposed to
Of
say?
course, of course you can have a pick. Oh, and the way he talked about it, he's like, and he did his research. It was like he's talking like
Like
he
a
gave the
kid?
pick to his son. And what's so sad about this is, like, Mike and I know both like Adam Randall. He's one of the more sleepery, deeper picks that were
Deepery, yeah.
deepery picks that were like, I could see how that works.
Does Steve listen to our show?
When, I mean, he probably does. Honestly, probably. But I would say that
There's no other explanation for this.
when the pick came and the Ravens took Adam Randall, I was like, that's not a bad landing
No,
spot for him. You've
it's
got
not.
King Henry, who's indestructible, but he's also human and at some point will stop and will self-destruct. And Adam Randall that's a good spot. You're on a good team. And then you find out later it was like a gift pick.
It'll
It's
reflect-
so silly.
It'll reflect on the GM on his future resume. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wild draft. We're going to get into our AFC draft recap show today, talking through the picks and what we think. There are opportunities out there. There are a number of players that slipped in the draft or went to teams that look like, Mekhi Lemon being one of them, that went to a spot we didn't expect, a team that traded up to acquire them, that has plans for them.
He went to a spot that the team drafting him didn't expect.
Yeah, and that the Steelers didn't expect. But
Whoops.
lots to talk about. Our draft I didn't even know. What was the final total for our draft prediction?
You won
I
by
think
one
I think I got one right.
because I changed on Jadarian Price last second, moved
You
away.
did. You
and
did.
you got him.
And I got Stowers.
Yep.
Is that what? Because you had gotten Jordan Tyson. So, yeah, it's always tough in the streets because once a couple trades happen, the ramifications.
the domino effect
Yeah, the
is-
domino effect. But, I mean, goodness, you've won for so many years in a row. I just assumed you'd pull it out. We've decided to extend the UDK pre-order giveaway an additional day.
We have?
Yes, through the end of the day, Mike.
Oh.
And we're going to give away some extra swag. So not just the Jamar Chase signed jersey, not just the Bijan signed jersey, not just the Listener League spot, but some extra swag as well.
You know what I realized?
Through the end of today, Tuesday.
Just now, looking at, because if you haven't tuned in, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers and check out Magic Mike's wall. The signed jerseys that we're giving away, those guys are on my League of Record team.
Oh, my gosh.
Still, they made it.
Yeah.
Bijan made it, everybody.
Mike, we had our
Oh, yeah, there we go.
The Magic Mike Wall.
we had our keeper lottery this weekend as well, which we do in our League of Record. If you're new to the show, we have kind of a cool format where you get a franchise player and then you pick 3 players from your roster. There's a keeper league, and those 3 players go into a keeper lottery, and 2 of the 3 remain on your team. One drops into the draft. In our keeper lottery, we saw the likes of Jahmyr Gibbs drop back into the draft. We saw
Well, Jason, who did you
JSN. We saw Puka, and we saw CMC.
Go
and
to
then
Jason's
Jason.
camera. Jay,
I
who
saw
was in your lottery?
my lottery was Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne Jr., and
Rumble
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
And I
Which
no
one did you-
longer have Jonathan Taylor. I was not happy about it.
Jason popped into the Zoom. Oh, that looks so cool. Jason popped in on. There's a cool new graphic up on the wall.
I like
He
it.
popped into the Zoom. He found out he had lost Jonathan Taylor in the lottery, and then he
He
disappeared.
threw a smoke bomb.
Yeah,
down.
and he was gone.
Well, because of course I show up right after everyone tells me I lost Jonathan Taylor. It's like I didn't even get to see it. It was like, oh, you just lost Jonathan
You
Taylor.
weren't on time.
I was driving through mountains. I didn't have service.
You didn't wait. There you go. So Jason was super happy.
Yeah.
But yes, ultimatedraftkit.com through the end of the day today, and we'll give away that Listener League spot. We want somebody to come and play with us in the Listener League in 2026. Super excited about that. And yeah, there you go.
On that note, today, all of our Ultimate Draft Kit, the plus, all the dynasty information, all got updated post-draft. So
Yes.
our rookie rankings, our dynasty startup rankings, all that stuff is fresh. It is ready to be drafted. A lot of details, and more than just that, the opportunity pages, everything in it got the post-draft refresh. So if you already have the Ultimate Draft Kit and you're in the contest, great. Go check out all the new information. If you need a reason to pick it up now, all that new information is there.
All right, let's get into the news.
News and notes from around the league.
Just a few bits of news here. Jaden Reed, 3-year contract extension with the Packers, who said goodbye to Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs this offseason.
And
Jaden
they did not draft any major replacement. This was a big win for Jaden Reed.
and Matthew Golden. The fact that they didn't draft anybody.
Yeah.
They do seem to have plans, for him. And at least we had one game.
So the
Jaden Reed, 3-year, $50 million.
yeah, so 20 guaranteed. The Romeo Doubs contract was much bigger.
Okay. Yeah,
that's I hadn't thought about it till now.
Reed
that's
has been a
interesting.
good player, but not a high volume player, not a high route participation player.
Right.
His talent has always been there. I've always really liked what I saw from him on the field. He's always flashed, but
The issue is he is only a slot wide receiver. When they're in 2 wide, and even now, even though they lost Romeo Doubs, it seems like it'll be Golden
and Watson.
and Watson in 2 wide,
Yeah,
which
probably will.
Jaden Reed is valuable to the team. Unlike, you look at what's happening for the Colts, and you look at Downs, and you go, oh, I think he's going to be on the field in 2 wide now. A huge upgrade.
Yes.
This is like, it's good for Jaden Reed for the draft, but he didn't get, to me, an upgrade over what he has been.
The Vikings officially exercised Jordan Addison's 5th-year option.
Okay.
Is Addison?
He's
I mean,
interesting.
I feel like
Yes.
he's not been talked about a lot. Whereas, we talk about the uptick that Jefferson should receive by a competent quarterback in Kyler Murray, who I think will be a competent quarterback. Addison will benefit tremendously. I mean, Kyler has, it kind of reminds me of the Christian Kirk era for the Cardinals.
Sure.
In Arizona, where you had Hopkins on one side and Addison, who's capable of taking advantage of defensive backs and especially on deep plays. That combination kind of reminds me of that.
That's a good comp. I believe it was Kyler who was with Christian Kirk when he was a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. I'll have to look that up. Kyle, get on.
What? Christian Kirk? No, Christian Kirk was a wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was not Kyler, then.
No, it was not.
The NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reporting that Brandon Ayuk will be playing with his good friend Jaden Daniels for the Commanders soon.
Okay. Man, that the Ayuk saga it's still going for those who have forgotten because it had been kind of quiet there for a while. No one's going to trade for him, and I would imagine he's not let go yet because the 49ers hate him. Like I think they're legitimately mad about everything.
Punitive situation.
Yes, everything that has taken place with Brandon Ayuk. You won, dude. You got your money, and then you were not good. And then there's the reports of not taking rehab seriously on his injured knee. And they've trashed him, publicly. No one's going to come trade for him because why? We'll wait for you to release him. But I feel like the 49ers are like, we're not going to release him.
Well,
we're just going to hold on to him.
I mean, the thing is usually you would say you want to get the most value out of the assets you have, and the 49ers proved they don't care about that at all. This draft,
They're
value
rogue, man.
means nothing to them.
MVS still playing football. Marquez Valdez-Scantling signing a one-year
Really?
deal with
Hey.
the Cowboys.
Good for you, man.
Oh, and then the other news, George Pickens has not yet signed the franchise
Yeah,
tag?
there was a lot of reporting
Didn't
on.
they say he did?
Yeah, night one of the draft, they were saying George Pickens has signed his franchise tender, which felt very much in the moment of like, well, the only reason he's going to sign that right now, after they have said we're not going to give you a long-term deal, is because to trade him. You can't trade him unless he signs the franchise. So with all the reporting, that's what it seemed to be the implication, but now they're saying he didn't even sign it.
Yeah, then it came out that the Cowboys aren't going to trade him. Well, at first it was.
Yes,
at first,
yeah.
I believe it was Ocho Cinco that
he
had
said
this
George
cryptic
Pickens
tweet.
He's going to be happy?
Yes.
Yeah, like there was some big news, some big contract coming his way, and then it was, oh, he's going to sign his franchise. That's not what a player's happy about. Like, yeah, I signed my franchise. And so you assume he's going to get traded, and then the Cowboys come out and say, we're not trading him, and now it's gone full circle to, I'm not signing that franchise.
Jerry.
Which you guys have talked about on the
Jerry.
Footcast, like how he probably won't sign it. And then it seemed like the news came out that you were wrong, but maybe you know George better than he knows himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we know Jerry.
And you know Jerry.
He will fold.
I like their draft, man. I loved
Yes,
it. I loved their draft.
you know what I hate the most about this draft? And there are, oh my gosh, so many things. But two of the best drafting and acquisition teams this cycle, this weekend, were the defensive side of the ball for the Bengals and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
What nonsense is this for fantasy football?
That's true.
Just hold out hope that it won't work.
Yeah.
I liked, we'll go through the teams, but I liked the Cowboys a lot, their draft. I liked Cleveland again for two years in a row.
Yes, I did like Cleveland's draft.
Yeah, they're really doing good work over there.
I think they're going to be a good team.
It's funny. I had tweeted out.
I actually think they're going to be a good team.
That's what I would.
Yes.
I would not go
do
that
that.
far.
They were in every game last year with nothing on offense.
They have
their defense is
incredible
unbelievable.
Incredible defense.
And I might believe in Todd Monken more than I did a week or two ago. I just
interesting.
Look, this is going to be one of the big topics that we're going to talk about extensively. How do you react to all of these draft picks and the players and the teams? I always bring up Jalen Waddle to the hapless Dolphins and how bad of a landing spot that was at number 6 years ago, only for him to go out and catch 100 passes and be a great player. The turnover in the NFL is so – I mean, what do we have, 20 new coaches, head coaches, something like that? I mean, when we did our coaching changes show between offensive coordinators, head coaches, the change is so tremendous. The inner working of 11 on 11, it just – you see change really, really fast. Teams that seem completely hapless – I'm not saying I like Deshaun Watson or what you're going to get from Shedeur, but like
or Taylon.
Yeah, or Taylon Green. I mean, there's just potential to win with just some small competency on offense. We love Concepcion. I like Denzel Boston on the other side. They have Harold Fannin, who we love. We love Judkins. We have a defensive player of the year. I don't know. I don't know.
I get it.
They're still the Browns.
They do have the pieces there. I loved the draft. I had tweeted out that it was really bad what the Browns did to us for Concepcion and Boston, which I stand by.
Yeah,
we don't want them going to the Browns without a known quarterback. That's not where we would ideally put them. And then you put both of them there.
Yeah, I think
and they're sharing targets.
The
was like,
dadgummit. Yeah.
However, from a football perspective, from the Browns' perspective, those are great picks. That's they're giving help to whoever that quarterback is.
Just to correct what I said earlier, it was 21 new offensive coordinators, 10 new head coaches.
So Cleveland had a 6.5 win projected total.
It's a
right
brutal
now. You like
it's
that,
a brutal
or?
division.
Okay.
So I would take the over on that. I would. You get a little new head coach bump.
Man.
A little bit of locker room.
7 games?
Yeah, 7 out of 17. We can get there. Myles Garrett could do 5 of those by himself. I don't know why I got on a Browns tirade on this episode. What am I thinking? I do this every offseason. What was that old head coach I used to talk about?
Marv. No.
Well, no. Marv was Cincinnati. Hugh Jackson.
Yes.
I should learn. All right. We're taking a break, and we'll talk AFC NFL Draft Recap. Oh, no. You're reminding me Tyrod Taylor was once a my guy, huh?
Yeah. This is not the first time you've been very impressed by
Is
Cleveland.
it a contrarian thing that I'm doing?
It's
Is it me wanting to find the good in something bad?
Yes.
Is that like a
It
character
is.
thing?
It is. And you know what?
I tried to find it in Gus Bradley once.
For you as a human, it's a good quality.
As
But
an analyst,
as an analyst of the NFL, it's not a good quality because
Okay.
they stink.
Does Newman?
Yeah, Newman
has the Browns
on
helmet.
our
He's got a
set.
Browns helmet.
Yeah,
What's it?
Newman on our
protect
set
him.
here.
Careful
has
with
a
his head. Oh!
This is not great audio. Okay, let's do it.
Hey, rookie. Welcome to the NFL.
All right, we'll start in the AFC West with the team with the overall number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza, to the Las Vegas Raiders in round 1. They did spend a 4th-round pick after a slew of offensive line and defensive improvements in the 2nd and 3rd and 4th round. They spent a 4th-round pick on Mike Washington Jr., combine standout.
Superstar.
Yeah. And then a wide receiver in the 6th. So I think a couple things that stood out to us, or at least to me, was like, who's going to play wide receiver for this football team? Because they did not invest. I mean, they had
The Besh Hive is back, baby.
Jack Besh.
We are alive and
He's
well.
not dead.
We are thriving.
I don't know about that, but Mendoza, I like Mendoza. I think he's going to be a very, I'm trying to find the right word for it, like a very productive NFL quarterback. I don't know if that'll be fantasy productive for his whole career, but he is more mobile than people give him credit for. I think I'm excited to see him with Genty and Bowers. But, you know, adding a big name wide receiver would have been, I think, more exciting for the entire fantasy world if you had seen 3rd-round pick, you know, Denzel Boston going there.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a team with such a need at wide receiver. Well, 36 wide receivers went in this draft that they just didn't even look that direction. And I think that this is really – Bowers is, I mean, obviously their number 1 wide receiver, but he's a huge winner here. He will be soaking up all of the targets. I will probably be taking him over Trey McBride. I think Bowers is the tight end 1
Ooh,
for sure.
I feel like that's a pretty big, bold take. I think we really enjoyed what we got from Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride last year. I don't know if I'll go that far, but yeah, Bowers should have full confidence to be in that tight end 1 contention.
And I still expect them to start the season with Kirk Cousins.
I think he's going to play
That's a good point.
while. I think he's going to play about half the season.
So in terms of, Jack Besh or any of the other wide receivers still on the team, Trey Tucker, who was kind of their number 1 last year,
Dante Thornton
Jalen
Jr.
Naylor, the free agent signing of Jalen Naylor. I mean,
Oh, I forgot.
It's
Didn't they give him a bunch of money?
they did.
they don't have a
3-year, $35 million.
true wide receiver unless one of last year's rookies steps up, which they did not do last year with plenty of opportunity. There is not a lot.
It's not good for Mike Washington to go to this situation either. Like if you were looking at players, like yes, he'll have an opportunity to be the backup, but he could have gone to a team that he could have emerged as the starter. Like if he goes to
Yes, that's true.
Tampa Bay or something, you know, you're like, oh, maybe it doesn't work with Bucky and this is the dude now. That's not happening here.
It's obviously not happening where Mike Washington Jr. will ever be the dude without an injury to Genty. That's clear and obvious. He is only a backup. However, this was the team coming from, the Cougs system.
Yeah.
Now the head coach here coming from Seattle, where even though they had a clearly superior Kenneth Walker on the field, they kept putting Charbonnet out there. Then Cougs comes to the Raiders, and they ask him what they think about Genty, and he basically says, I want a 2-back system. We were arguing you can want whatever you want. You don't have another running back on the roster, so it's going to be all Genty. Well, now they went and spent, obviously it wasn't a day 2 pick. It was a 4th rounder, but, Mike Washington was one of the somewhat touted running backs in this class, and at least gives
I think it's interesting.
it gives a little bit more credence to the ability to have a large split for Genty.
It's funny because it's we'll just you make the natural progression of okay, well, Mike Washington's in the Charbs role for Kubiak, except Mike Washington athletically
He's nothing like that.
is not,
No.
is the opposite of Charbs.
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to, does that draft pick change your opinion of Ashton Genty? For me, the answer is no.
As in where he's going in fantasy,
Or my confidence in him.
I think my confidence is about the same. I do think Mike Washington is. I don't think it's everything is Ashton Genty though. I think you will have more of a committee that people are going to want.
For sure, without that pick, Genty would have had a lot more volume when I stat him out than with this pick.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll be doing that soon. I mean, the full Ultimate Draft Kit releases on June 1st, which means you're going to have every team's individual players and stats from all three of us in the Ultimate Draft Kit and see how we break down each of those teams' offenses. Kansas City went defense heavy early on. They traded up. They went corner, 2 corners, 2 defensive linemen in the first 4 rounds, and then their first offensive jump, which we thought maybe they were going to grab, a Jordan Tyson for Patrick Mahomes. It didn't happen. They had 2 first-round picks. They were both on the defensive side. Emmett Johnson goes in the 5th round to Kansas City. Very similarly to my opinion of Mike Washington with Genty, Emmett in the 5th, who I liked, has no impact on my view of Kenneth Walker whatsoever. This was actually a huge, the fact that they didn't go get more offensive weapons tells me they're focusing on the ones they have. Yeah. And so, all the incumbents benefited from the way that they chose to go about this draft. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, because they didn't go after a Sadiq or Stowers, and Kenneth Walker. Emmett is a maybe you see the field.
He needed. I like the Mike Washington comp in the sense that this is a team that really needed a backup running back. They lost Pacheco. Sure, they went out and gave the bag to Walker, but they don't have anyone behind him. You have to have someone behind him. It's a good quality pick. Andy, I know you liked Emmett Johnson, his film. I think it's just a good fit.
Well, and Walker's gone down. I mean, in the past.
For sure. I don't think that the Chiefs are ideally wanting to do a split. That's where I view it a little different than the Raiders.
Yep.
But it's a good pick. And honestly, the big takeaway for fantasy for me on the Chiefs is simply that the big fear I had pre-NFL draft of Rashee Rice being moved on from this offseason if they had taken one of those big 3 wide receivers. For dynasty purposes, Rice is a little bit more solidified as in the future wide receiver for this team. They don't have someone past him.
Kansas City thoughts, Mike? Anything you want to add?
I have nothing new to add.
How about you talk to me about the Los Angeles Chargers, if you can? I dare you. They had some picks. They spent them on players that we probably aren't going to end up caring about in fantasy football. 4th rounder Brendan Thompson is the lone meaningful offensive piece in terms of fantasy production.
He is, and Brennan is. This is a Mike McDaniel special. Of Thompson is fast. Now, Kyle, you're telling me this is a real quote here from Mike McDaniel?
This is a real quote for sure. Read
so
it.
Apparently, Mike McDaniel talking to the GM said, "quote." McDaniel,
you didn't see this video?
I did not.
Oh, it's great.
And McDaniel, known for really, really good sound bites, but said, quote, "If you can find a way to get Brennan Thompson, I will take my shirt off in here."
So he goes opposite of you. You're a no pants club.
Yeah, he's nips out
a nips
for
out
Harambe.
club. Okay.
No, it was a good
That's
video.
one way to put it.
He was constantly asking for their GM to make this pick, find a way to get Brennan on their team. And it makes sense. This is a guy who ran 4.26. I don't view this as Brennan being a fantasy relevant player. I do view this as McDaniel wanting someone with such blazing speed that he can craft things where you just have to you're going to pull a safety away. This is a player that I think opens things up for the other wide receivers on the team.
Does it make you nervous for Trey Harris? Because if you're talking 3 wide receivers, Trey Harris feels like the odd man out for. Like, I don't think we're getting Huge or Ladd off of the field.
Yeah, and you're talking about a field stretcher. That's the role. And I think that would be Trey Harris's role. That will be Brennan Thompson's role. So, yeah, that has an effect there. I think it's good for Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only real swing they took on the offensive side in terms of skill position players. They did draft a 4th-round offensive tackle. They drafted a center in the 2nd round. So we know the offensive line was a huge problem last year. They're already getting injured players back. Now they're solidifying it through the draft. So that's good for Hampton, right?
Yep.
If you talk about a fantasy winner, Hampton, Herbert, offense.
Yep.
Let's go.
We got Jake Slaughter.
Oh, yeah, they did, huh?
Jake Slaughter.
That's such a good name.
It is.
Slaughter him. Denver was 14-3 last year. We thought they might come into this draft, which, by the way, they had very few picks. No first or second rounder.
Well, their first round pick is Jalen Waddle.
Yes, they did acquire Jalen Waddle.
Just remember that.
But they did draft one of, I think, Jason's favorite rookie running backs. Now, it came in the 4th round, which you might not love, but they didn't have a chance to draft him in the other rounds. And they have a need at running back.
This is
Jonah Coleman.
right here explains the state of rookie drafts at the running back position. Jonah Coleman is my running back 3. 4th round running back Jonah Coleman.
4th round running back
is my number 3.
who will be, barring injury, at best in a 3-way timeshare between last year's higher drafted rookie Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. This is when it happened. This was early in the 4th round. So this is day 3. You don't want him to go day 3, but you're hoping someone, pulls the trigger quick. They came in, and that's who they targeted. That's what happened for an offense that you think is good. And I like the player. So I was like, okay, this is okay. This is okay, but it's not good. It's not great. And I don't blame you for having him as your RB3, but please understand, Foot Clan, whoever our RB3 is this fantasy football cycle in rookie drafts, the gap is the Grand Canyon. Someone has to be at 3. That does not mean they're good, and that does not mean draft them like you would usually draft most years, 3rd running back off the board.
It is, my 4th running back is a 5th round Nick Singleton in Tennessee.
Right.
Because of opportunity.
I don't blame you.
And you know what Jonah Coleman does? You talk about winners and losers, which is what this show is about. This is all the backfield mates are losers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think Sean Payton has an ounce of loyalty to any one of them. I don't think Harvey is going to be anything that we're happy about on a consistent basis. He's entering the I can't wait to be Justice Hill in this league phase of his career. And Jonah Coleman can come in, and he's a tough runner. And let's add him to Jaleel McLaughlin and just whoever else they can get production out of at that position.
This will be 3 backs being used
Minimum.
every drive.
Minimum.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I could feel that. They spent 2 more picks on tight ends, Mike.
Oh,
Jolie.
Jolie.
I was mad that we couldn't call him Jolly because his name's pronounced Jolie.
Not anymore.
And now I'm very happy.
Look, we're begging of you. Please don't take our man.
You went to Angelina Jolie? Is that what you did, Al?
That's where my head went.
Okay.
Okay. The amount of tight ends in this draft, freaking Sean McVay and the Rams with their number one, they were a culprit of
They duped the league.
getting all the tight ends, but they changed their offense. They said, hey, wait, guys are getting smaller? Okay, well, let's beef up and put a bunch of tight ends out there.
How many tight ends were drafted?
I think it was 23.
Oh.
Yeah, it just feels like it's like tight end. Wink. Like their offensive linemen,
a lot of these.
linemen being drafted and getting paid well. I mean, every offseason we get these massive deals now. For tight ends, you're like, who?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't catch the ball.
Yeah.
So we got to move on, though. The AFC South, Tennessee, I just talked about them. They went and surprised a lot of people. Carnell Tate at number 4 overall. Jeremiyah Love was off the board. They did not go defense, despite their head coach, and they went and got a number 1 wide receiver for a player I still believe in tremendously, Cam Ward. This makes me feel way better about it.
Yes.
Because it's a certifiable number 1. It's terrible news for Calvin Ridley, but if you cared about Ridley, that's terrible news
for you.
So
this is a great landing spot. I tweeted that out, and I had so many people that were like, what are you talking
They
about?
didn't like it?
That
It's
they
fantastic.
hate the spot. And I'm like, look, Cam Ward is a young number 1 overall draft pick. Sure, he hasn't really shown that he's a great quarterback yet, but you can't ask for much more. I mean, not everybody's going to get Joe Burrow.
got better as the season
Yes,
went
he
on,
did.
which is what I care about.
So you go to a young, future franchise quarterback on a depth chart with people were throwing out, all the names of the wide receivers that are at the Titans, but Io Manor was talked about last year, not because Io Manor.
Manor.
Nice.
Swish.
It's not because Io Manor was great. We talked him up because he might have been their best wide receiver because they don't have much. Ridley is old busted. I mean, there's a reason they took someone 4th in the draft, the number 1 wide receiver off the board. He, I think, has the opportunity to come in and be the number 1 in targets right off the bat. Now, maybe he won't be this year, but he has that opportunity.
I think he will be this year, and I think it'll happen. I mean, number 4 overall, he's going to come in the same way Malik Neighbors did and dominate targets from the jump. It puts players like Chimere Dike into the right position on their team where he was a great player for them. Great special teams player, gadget player. Can't be your number 1. Io Manor can't be your number 1.
Yeah. I mean, they did sign Wan'Dale Robinson, which is good. I mean, the nice thing is for you,
That's right,
Andy,
yeah.
that believe
Wan'Dale could lead in
they
targets,
believe, for those that believe in Cam Ward,
yeah.
now you start going like Calvin Ridley, old busted, has a place if he's not trying to be the number 1 for this team.
So take Wan'Dale, Ridley,
yeah, exactly.
and DK, that's good.
You could end up having a good wide receiver core here, basically because one guy can move people around. It's a good pick.
Did you like Nick Singleton's tape?
I did. So I know
Penn State running back goes in the 5th round, which you normally don't care about, but this year you do. And Tennessee they have Tony Pollard, ...
Yeah, you had the debate between Singleton and Katron Allen, the 2 guys that were on the same team. I was very much more on the Nicholas Singleton side. He was not this explosive breakaway runner. However, he is a 220-plus pound running back who caught the ball like crazy and scored touchdowns. That's pretty much all you need and want in fantasy. The opportunity is good here. He's a 5th-round running back to just keep your eye on.
Yeah. What round was the old wasn't Barnes a Tennessee Titan, the guy you liked years ago?
He was
undrafted.
undrafted.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Yes.
The Colts.
He would have been drafted this year. If Barnes was in this draft,
he would have.
Yeah,
So
probably a 2nd round.
Winners and losers for Indianapolis. They didn't do anything.
Man,
on the offensive
Josh
side.
Downs. Josh Downs is a huge winner. Not only did they get rid of Adonai Mitchell and Pittman, so that those 2 guys are gone, but then the GM basically comes out and says Downs should be involved in 2 wide receiver sets and has the opportunity to get more work.
This is great.
And then they prove that with their actions. I mean, they took a 7th-round wide receiver who's just like a special teams guy. Downs is a great fantasy asset going into this year.
You're up on Downs?
I'm up on Downs.
Yeah, and the target volume, like we loved Alec Pierce, but he doesn't profile as a 100-catch guy. I mean, Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, wheels up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for Downs this year.
And I'm glad you brought up Tyler Warren because he very well might lead this team in targets.
Yeah, that would not be a bad bet. Houston's been a 2nd-rounder on Marlon Klein. Not Merlin. I thought maybe it was Merlin. Merlin would have been more exciting. Okay, winners and losers for the Texans, Mike. I know you wanted to talk about the Texans all day. You've been talking to me about that.
So Marlon Klein out of Michigan.
Have you ever eaten marlin?
I've not.
Jason?
No.
You ever had swordfish?
I have
Is
had
it the same thing?
I don't know if
No.
I consider those the exact same thing.
I thought Marlin is
They both have the weapon in the
That's
front.
enough for me.
Marlin is
That's what they're
is a
the same.
clownfish,
Jason?
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, Marlin's a clownfish.
That is correct.
I've watched the movie, man. I know.
Have you ever had swordfish, Al?
I don't think Andy.
Oh, he
know.
doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
eat-
I'm
allergic.
allowed to move on.
I'm
if I don't-
allergic.
No,
to
you
swordfish.
didn't get the joke.
That was a Finding Nemo reference.
Finding Nemo. Marlin, the dad. It's
Oh my
clownfish.
gosh.
Yeah, okay.
It's
No,
swoosh.
it was
I don't
great.
have
Thank
to.
you.
I don't have to like it.
No, you don't have to like
You,
it.
you didn't like it because you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because you're dumb.
Get body.
Watch a
I mean,
Pixar movie.
I like a good reference, but not like a deep cut.
That wasn't even
It
that
wasn't
deep.
that deep.
The dad of the main character.
When I think of Marlin,
The
there's
dad
only
is
one.
the main
when
character.
you think of Marlin, you don't think of the fish.
I do think of the fish. That's what I'm saying.
No, hold on.
I
Time
think
out.
of the fish,
Time out.
the
Andy.
clownfish from Finding Nemo. Marlin.
Nemo, they have to find him.
I know.
He's lost. He's
I
not
know.
the main character.
The movie
They
should be called
find him,
Marlin
though.
Finds Nemo.
Yes.
But they didn't want to give away the ending.
They don't. Nemo's not telling you how he's doing the whole movie in the tank.
Yes.
Name
he's
another
part of it.
Marlin.
The ones in the ocean.
No. When you think of Marlin, the name, who comes to mind?
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
Oh, give me a
yeah,
break.
yeah.
Or the old
That doesn't
NES
count.
game. What was that game?
Oh gosh.
Oh, no. Now I'm on it. A Marlon Wayans. All right, good work, Josh.
That's what you think about Marlon
Was it
Wayans?
Blue Marlin?
This is all much more entertaining than the Houston
Anyway,
draft.
so Marlon Klein out of Michigan, an okay athletic profile. I mean, I'm trying to give you something
He's
here.
a blocker.
Speaking of
He's a very good run blocker. This is good for David Montgomery.
Jacksonville spent a second-round pick on Nate Borkercher. Tight end,
Nice.
blocking tight end.
Good job. That's how Jeremy says caricature.
I would say the biggest winner in Jacksonville was the existing running back room.
Tootin.
Because
there was
Bashaw
rumors.
Tootin and Chris Rodriguez, who, look, I don't think that – I think they're willing to have either guy step up there, and probably both. So I think both of those guys were big winners, obviously. They didn't need more wide receivers. They spent 6-rounders on them, but they've got a ton of those guys.
I think the big winner for the Jacksonville Jaguars draft is the San Francisco 49ers because they might be the only other team that had more reaches in this draft than the Niners. If you just look at like the value chart,
It was wild.
incredibly bad draft.
We'll find out.
We're just going to be talking forever.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I know that they're sitting up, like at a press conference, they're kind of sitting up, like maybe on a step.
Mm-hmm.
But man, does that come with a lot of the fart-sniffing self-assurance that every year these guys like, oh, I know better than all of you. Like, history says you don't.
Right.
History says we're all just whiffing over and over and over again. And this idea, when you listen to Lynch talk about this consensus and why do you go and reach for players, and then you go look at the evidence.
Yeah,
Sharp,
and they're
Warren
Sharp wrote an incredible piece breaking down
Yes,
the
all the
horrific
San
Francisco.
Yes.
Like you don't get to defend facts. So
No.
if you make a bunch of picks, let's say you make 20 picks, and 20 picks don't work, that's called history.
Yeah, and when you compare the value of what players have done versus where they went in the draft, it's kind of like how in fantasy football, when you look at ADP, especially over recent time, ADP is pretty accurate. The guys in the first round score a lot more on average than the guys in the second round. And it's not like, oh, well, the fifth round bumps up. It's almost linear. It's like the ADP is usually correct. Every round you get some wrong, every round you get some right. But if you reach multiple rounds in your fantasy draft, you're making a mistake. You're not taking advantage of capital, and you're probably wrong. You're not outsmarting the crowd. But the funny thing is, like, they just stand there and smell their farts, and they love them, and they're like, I'm so good, we don't listen to consensus. I love JJ Zacharisa, good friend of the show, tweeted out, he was on a little Twitter rampage on this as well. But it was at one point they said, well, people don't bring up the great finds we have later in the draft, like getting George Kittle. And then
Yes, we do. We're fine. That's a great job.
But yeah, and on that, JJ tweeted out, George Kittle, when they drafted him, was 20 spots behind where he was going. Like that was you got a guy behind value, which you never do. You're always taking these guys way ahead of value. Like, no, that was a good example of what we're talking about. That's how you do it.
Why pay $20 for something when you could pay $40?
Right?
Right.
It makes it better.
Cleveland, the Browns. I love their draft. A lot of people thought Carnell Tate would end up in Cleveland. They thought they'd go, they ended up trading down when Tate was not on the board. So maybe they would have, but they end up at 9. They draft a wonderful offensive tackle in Spencer Fano, and they end up with a back-to-back combo of Concepcion, who a lot of people like.
I love him.
And Denzel Boston, totally different types of receivers,
Yes.
which is awesome. Equipping a receiving room that really needed it. I don't know. And then they just solidified on both sides of the ball.
2 offensive tackles in the first 2 days, 2 wide receivers in the first 2 days. This is a great improvement for an offense. They knew where their problem was, and they did, because in the 6th round they went and got a quarterback, which is what they really need.
Dude, week 18, Taylon Green is going to rule.
Yeah. He's rushing for 150
It's going to be so
yards.
fun.
Jerry Jeudy, a fantasy loser in this equation.
Yeah, I would say so.
And you could argue that. I mean, I guess I would not argue that Fannin is a loser in this situation, but there's just more mouths to feed now.
Yep.
More opportunities. Let's take a break and we'll get into some more of these teams. Unless you wanted to add anything on the Browns, Jay.
I really like Concepcion. I think that I'm going to bet on talent over situation and hope that it works out.
Have you for your wide receiver rankings? Did the Cleveland Browns destination?
It did not.
Massively alter.
No, Concepcion's still my number 4.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll talk Bengals. You know, it's funny to think about as we get ready to talk about Cincinnati. The Cardinals, we started the show with our normal routine of making fun of our own home team and their stupidity. But boy, the Rams and 49ers really tried to make it up to us this year, didn't they?
I think the 49ers sure did. The Rams, we'll just talk about that tomorrow, and I think we'll disagree on that.
You can't disagree with Ty Simpson not helping you this year.
No, I can't.
On a team that was a nipple from the Super Bowl.
No, yeah. We'll discuss because I think Ty Simpson is a fascinating, great conversation.
You didn't like him when
for Thursday. We'll tease it to them.
You didn't like him
when the Cardinals were going to get him.
Yeah,
of course
at
not.
The end of the
I can't wait to explain.
Cincinnati 6-11. They had traded their first round pick away for Dexter Lawrence. They did not get a running back in the draft. They didn't have a lot of picks, but you look at Chase Brown. 2 years in a row, Chase Brown survives the draft. And
that money's coming, Chase Brown.
A commitment.
Get the pen ready.
So, defensive end, cornerback, center, 4th round wide receiver for some depth.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence with pick 10,
So, I mean, this was a team that went out, had a great draft, drafted mostly on the defensive side of the ball, which is where their issues are. For fantasy purposes, you hope they whiffed. You hope they got it all wrong. And that Dexter Lawrence isn't.
Sorry, Bengals fans.
Yeah, I mean, for fantasy purposes, we need you to score 35 points to win a game.
Yep.
Because
for Super Bowl purposes, you did the right thing.
Absolutely. I mean, the truth is, when you've scored 21 points and you're up in the 4th, you run the ball, and that sucks for Jamar Chase, and that sucks for T. Higgins.
I think we're greedy. I think we're really greedy with those two teams, and I do like consequential football. Let me put it out that way. I want this team to care about the games they play late in the season. They're not going to care when their defense was that bad. I'm going to go glass half full.
They did a good job.
Baltimore, they had a lot of picks. They end up spending.
They had so many that they gave one to their owner for free.
Oh, they did. Yes, Adam Randall with the bonus 2nd pick in the 5th round. Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt. Jason, you like Surratt a lot out of Indiana. Jacoby Lane goes quite a bit ahead of him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've always talked about the pie, the passing pie of the Ravens and the Lamar Jackson era and whether or not you can support multiple targets. You obviously have Zay Flowers here as the one, and they're bringing in 2, I think, pretty good wide receivers, solid at least wide receivers in Jacoby Lane from USC and Elijah Surratt from the national champion team. I like Elijah Surratt as a player. I did not think that the gap between him and Omar Cooper Jr. was, a 3-round gap, which the NFL thought. Good pieces to add. However, those being wide receivers, they did not really do anything from a passing tight end, a receiving tight end. I think Mark Andrews is a winner in this. His role as the receiving tight end is pretty safe.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go as far as to call Zay Flowers a loser because of these acquisitions.
I wouldn't.
But I would say that, they haven't had a lot of talent at wide receiver at all beyond
Rashad Bateman is the loser, and those who still continue to support Rashad Bateman.
Adam Randall has potential to, if you had an injury, step into a role.
Yeah, I'm on Jason's opinion of Adam Randall. I think he will be, if he gets an opportunity here for the Ravens, I think he'll be solid. I
think
fantasy.
Al Borland would like me to enter into consideration Elijah Sriracha.
Oh, that's already been entered.
Yeah.
We've already discussed this.
That's a little spicy.
You guys already talked about that?
I haven't heard that.
I have.
So Mike talked about it with himself.
Or on the Dynasty podcast. Make sure you're listening every Wednesday.
Pittsburgh, guys, what do we think? Jeremy Bernard in the 2nd round. They apparently were going to take Mekhi Lemon, which let me talk about the comedy of, like, who was the player that you thought they might reach on?
I thought that they were going to reach on Omar Cooper Jr.
Okay. That was the one that you thought that they would stick with Pittman and with DK Metcalf and be dumb.
Yep.
And then I'm like, they're not going to be dumb. And then it comes out that they were going to be kind of maybe not dumb at 21.
Right.
But Mekhi Lemon was the pick that they were going to make. I think somebody referred to the Steelers ending up auto-drafting after the trade up by Pittsburgh
So if you
or
don't,
by Philly.
if you don't know what happened, the Dallas Cowboys were the pick ahead of the Steelers, and everyone knew that the Dallas Cowboys are focusing on defense. So because they knew that the Cowboys were looking at defense, Pittsburgh called Mekhi Lemon and told him that we are going to draft you with the next pick. While he was on the phone with the Steelers, the Eagles traded up and swapped with the Cowboys.
Oh, man.
And called him, and they couldn't get a hold of him because he was on the phone with the Steelers. And then they're like, Mekhi's like, why are the Eagles calling me? And boom, you switched teams in the blink of an eye. And then that's where the Steelers were on the clock.
Yeah, with little time.
And they're like,
Auto pick.
who's out there?
ADP.
Offensive lineman.
So Jeremy Bernard, second-round wide receiver out of Alabama, who I think he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, I
they
like
also spent a third-round pick on yet another of the same type of quarterback.
Yeah.
But Drew Aller, when you look at it from a dynasty perspective, players that could have opportunities sooner,
Yes.
he is on the upper half of that list. I don't know if you guys would have him higher or lower than Carson back in Arizona. I toyed with those guys back and forth. I actually put Drew Aller one spot ahead.
This felt like when they were making this draft that they were doing this draft for Aaron Rodgers. They're like trying to get Mekhi Lemon. No, okay, well, let's get him an offensive tackle. Then we'll get him a wide receiver 3. Hey, come back. We improved our offensive line. Honestly, Jeremy Bernard, I believe, is a perfect pick here for what they need, like a third wide receiver. He's just going to be a quality third wide receiver, not a fantasy superstar here, and obviously being behind Pittman and DK Metcalf, I don't think he matters that much for fantasy in and of himself. However, for whoever the quarterback is, it's great.
Remember
Then they did get the superstar at the end of the draft. Hiding right.
Man, do they even have Roman Wilson on this roster anymore?
He's somewhere.
Goodness.
Oh, man, Roman Wilson, R.I.P.
AFC East, the New York.
Who's the second round pick?
Yeah.
Man? Holy crap.
Yeah, I know.
He broke their streak of
Swing
drafting
and a miss.
perfectly at wide receiver.
New
No,
York.
does he even count?
Like, right.
He played so little. Goodness.
The Jets fulfilled Jason's prophecy. Jason was not very high on Kenyon Sadiq compared to others.
Stowers of powers.
Yeah.
And he said, well, what he'd love to see is Sadiq go to the Jets to where I don't have to care. He's a really good player. He goes to, I think when you brought it up, we were like, oh, cats and dogs, because Meowson Taylor is there, and Kenyon Sadiq. I think the career is now over
For Mason?
for Mason's upside. And Omar Cooper Jr., who, look, a first-round pick, 2 first-round picks on receiving options in New York for Geno Smith.
Well, it's going to be great for next year's quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, this is like if you look at consensus big boards and consensus mock drafts, both Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr., extremely highly valued, highly touted prospects. You needed to get receiving options, so you can make an argument very clearly that this was excellent work.
I think they got value on both.
Perfect for the future. They definitely got value on Sadiq. I mean, Omar Cooper was starting to be drafted pretty heavily in the first round, so dropping to the last, you could say they got value on both. Personally, and we just talked about being away from consensus is usually not the smartest plan to be right. But personally, I thought both Sadiq and Cooper Jr. were 2 of the most overrated people going into this draft. So the fact that they both went to the Jets was a dream come true for me.
And then you can hit the Klubnik in the 4th round. They added Cade Klubnik, quarterback. Losers, I would just say Meowson Taylor's potential as a tight end 1 is going to be squashed by a first-round tight end.
Will he
break a tackle?
Will he finish his career with 0 broken tackles?
Yes.
Probably.
Not enough opportunities. Now.
That's what I'm saying. This was your year to do it.
Although
I'm just remembering
now
Frank Reich as an offensive coordinator in the NFL again.
Maybe it gets sneaky though.
But
like
why?
I know, but
they
why?
don't think they'll throw to Meowson, so he's on some cornerback.
That
and can
doesn't
break
mean
a
he's
tackle.
not.
If it's like a little
Meowson's
cornerback,
good for some fall down tight first downs, big time.
Just not breaking tackles.
Meow. The Miami Dolphins had 652 picks in this draft, and they chose to wait on the wide receiver position. I think that was the biggest shock here. I'd love to tell you that there are some existing wide receivers on the roster that are, quote, winners because of this decision, but there aren't any.
Well, they don't have any.
Caleb Douglas.
Tutu Atwell?
Yeah. And Taj Washington.
Jalen Tolbert?
Malik Washington, rather.
Yes.
This was actually a really important place. Caleb Douglas and Chris Bell, two wide receivers that went on day 2 in the 3rd round. This is good draft capital. You got to take a look at those two wide receivers, see who you believe in. Chris Bell was, in theory, going to be a first-round wide receiver, very highly touted, big-bodied guy.
You had Dane Brugler before the season had Chris Bell ranked as his number 2 wideout.
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to be great, but then he tore his ACL, fell in the draft because of that. So when I look at Chris Bell, I'm a little excited. I've got him higher in my dynasty rankings than I think most people have him, simply because if you're talking about a first-round talent who simply dropped because of injury, finding his way on a team that desperately needs an alpha wide receiver, there is a path to emerge here. But it could also be Caleb Douglas, their other wide receiver taken out of Texas Tech.
Jalen Tolbert's on the roster. They're going to have to figure it out on offense. They spent a 5th-round pick on Kevin Coleman Jr. as well. I mean, getting more weapons for Malik Willis is a win for him because they started with 0. So, Buffalo, another Bell. Skylar Bell in the 4th round. Defensive end, cornerback, offensive tackle before they went 4th-round wide receiver. Everything else was pretty much defensive and a punter, by the way, in the 7th round. What were your takes on Skylar Bell out of Connecticut, and do you think Keon Coleman's a winner?
Maybe.
Skylar
Bell, huge production, over 100 catches, almost 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns. But the Bills just keep doing this of overlapping their archetype of wide receiver. And
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, and not that DJ Moore can do other stuff, but it's still, like these are yards after catch type of slot wide receivers. It's very strange to me. So you're asking Keon Coleman, he could be, because you had the new head coach was talking him up yet again. He would be their boundary wide receiver, and Skylar Bell would not profile there at all. But I don't know what to make of this. It's a 4th-round wide receiver, so it's not. The draft capital's not there to you got to get Skylar Bell on your roster.
He has some good metrics behind the scenes. There's questions about how they came about, a lot of screen work, level of competition, those things. In the 4th round, being that you project he will be playing behind Khalil Shakir in that role, there's not much to get excited about other than the fact that you get to play with Josh Allen. And so should you emerge, there's the chance to do something special.
The final team we'll talk about today, we'll get into the NFC winners and losers on Thursday. The New England Patriots. Not a lot to talk about here. Blocking tight end, right, in the 3rd round, or half and half. 2 ACL tears for Raridan.
Yeah,
Eli Raridan.
He, at least when you're talking production profile markers, he did okay in terms of receiving in yards his last year. His athletic profile is strong, so that he's not in the nothing blocking tight ends to me. I'm not outrageously excited to draft him, but if you're in a 4-round rookie drafts, he might be someone I'll take at the end.
As of right now, Romeo Doubs is not he's a winner from the draft. They didn't invest in other weapons. We think the A.J. Brown story is on the way.
The Mekhi Lemon draft pick almost certainly says that A.J. Brown will be traded.
Yeah. I mean, it's being reported as a done deal.
No.
It's being reported as pretty much a done deal. I was just thinking, we launched the Ultimate Draft Kit on June 1st.
Oh, yeah.
And they can't do this trade for cap reasons until at least June 1st or after June 1st. I'm like, how are we statting out these two teams? Are we going to put I think I'm just going to put A.J. Brown on the Patriots.
On both of them?
I can't imagine a world where he's an Eagle.
I can't
Even
either,
if he's not a Patriot,
so wild,
it seems
if he is an Eagle. Man, they got 3 great wide receivers on that team.
And finally a great
Stowers.
tight end.
Finally.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're
Sorry,
gonna end
Dallas.
up.
Oh man.
I feel like that was an insult to Ertz.
Yeah.
A Hall of,
sure.
Where are you going
a Hall
all the
of
way back?
Famer.
No, it was really Goddard.
Okay.
Oh, well, who had a great year?
Yeah, he did.
He's not under contract, right?
Jalen
Goddard?
Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they held on to him.
I feel like Jalen Hurts is a pretty big
Oh,
winner.
it was a
1
1-year,
year.
$7 million extension. Yeah.
Pretty big winner in this draft, adding Mekhi Lemon. And obviously when you lose A.J. Brown, it's going to be tough. But personally, like Mekhi Lemon is, I think, awesome, and Stowers is awesome. Those two are such a better value than what the Jets got in Sadiq and Omar. They gave up 2 first-rounders to get those two guys. If they both cost $1, I would rather the guys that the Eagles got.
Yeah. Goddard, 1-year, $7 million deal to just be a transition year to Stowers.
Yep. And don't forget about you got James.
Jam Miller,
Jam Miller,
running back.
7th round pick. You don't need to worry
Can't forget
about it.
about that.
But you got
You got
Jam.
Jam.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Thursday NFL, or rather NFC recap coming your way.
That's where the spicier stuff is, man.
Apparently,
the NFC West
apparently
was
Ty
drunk.
Simpson. Apparently,
Yeah.
the NFC West was crazy. We'll talk about that on Thursday. A final reminder: we do have today's the last day for the UDK pre-order giveaway. So if you pick it up at ultimatedraftkit.com, you can win a spot in the listener league with us. We'd love to have you there. We have signed jerseys, Bijan, Jamar Chase, Mike's keepers in our league of record.
Oh man.
And which Jason's super thrilled about.
Awful.
We didn't give away any Jonathan Taylor stuff because we knew,
I gave away Jonathan Taylor.
on your own. So things went well for me. I
They
mean,
really did.
I ended up
They
winning the
really-
lottery for the number 1 pick,
Yeah.
and then getting all the keepers that I wanted.
Yeah.
And then Jahmyr Gibbs went back into the draft, so
Oh.
he's gonna be on my team. Anyways,
That's
Great.
fun.
I'm so happy
That's fun for you.
do
I'll see you in the championship.
you want to be a co-manager on my team?
I would love to. This year. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that is going to be it for today's show. Shout out to the Deucers over there in Deucers Alley. Appreciate you guys, and we'll be back with another fresh episode Thursday morning. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.